I am back. I've been off for a while. I've had a lot of medical appointments and then I've been on holiday for 2 weeks. And I'm actually back to work tomorrow. I thought that today I would do a little sort of review comparison of some of the printing methods that I've used for PDF patterns recently, sort of copy shop versus Patternsy online company. There are similar companies out there. Patternsy is just the one that I have used, and they're fantastic. I'll show you why. I don't usually print patterns out of my home printer because I hate it. I have done it in the past, but I just find it a horrible faff, and then I don't get it lined up properly, and you can't fold it or store it, and it's just a wretched nightmare. So I don't do that anymore. I have got a big Karnak roll of plotter paper so I can trace stuff off. I got that because I thought I was going to have to make a lot of adjustments to patterns, but recent developments, I'm thinking maybe that's not going to be the case. I've tested been testing out two patterns recently to see what kind of sizes I'm going to make and which one I'm going to make. I'll probably end up making both. And they are the Tilly and the Buttons Bettine Top Hack and the Patterns for Pirates Timeless Tunic. Yes, Timeless Tunic. And I've been doing kind of the top version rather than the longer version, and with the short sleeves, although it's just been a mock-up that I've been making, so I haven't actually put sleeves on it. So this is the Timeless Tunic one. I was having a bit of a tricky time picking which size according to their sizing. I am an extra large in the shoulder, an extra large in the chest, and a medium to large in the waist. Okay, like right on the edge of the two pattern sizes. So I was trying to grade down through the three sizes to make the pattern fit me, but I've cut it out and made it. You can possibly see on here that the darts are not in the same place. I have absolutely no idea how I managed that. And somehow it seems to be a bigger size in the back piece than in the front piece. So as somebody off the Curvy Sewing Collective Facebook chat site recommended to just make, because of the strange shape that I am, to just make the biggest size and then take it in at the waist to be in exactly the right place. I think I'm going to try that. I mean, you can see I haven't really cut it out as carefully as I should have. I haven't stay stitched or anything. I've just literally sewn it together out of the cheapest fabric that I had, which was actually I'm going to say an old bed sheet, but it was a bed sheet that my mum had passed to me because she bought it for a new bed, and when the bed arrived, the mattress was too deep for the stuff that she bought for it. So it was like 300 GSM pure cotton. I did kind of think it could be a wearable toile, but it's a little see-through and it creases so badly. Now, as you possibly see, I've actually dropped something on front of this as well. Anyway, basically it's too big. Even though I did grade down like the three sizes at the waist, it's still too big at the waist, and it's also too big everywhere else. So I'm going to do the in-between size, the extra large, and then grade it down at the waist when I make it, and it'll be a bit longer than this. This was just a bit, like, I'm not a lot of a problem getting it to fit at the bottom. It's only the top that's a problem. So that's that one. And the Tilly and the Buttons Bettine, Tilly and the Buttons Bettine top hack. I mean, I know it's just a toile, and that's the whole point, but I don't know if you can see, I have somehow managed to do a ruffle neck. Yeah, I attached the facing on the wrong side. So it's got a ruffle. Very nice ruffle. Very 16th century ruffle. This actually fits not too bad. It's a wee bit snug. I have heard other So I said that they found tilly and the buttons pattern sometimes can be tight in the arm, and yeah, that's not a lot of arm space. But it is also a little snug in the bust. I think I made a size 6 in this. So I might just make it looser the whole way down, because the point of it is not to be a tight fitted top. Like, it doesn't have a dart or anything. It's 2 pieces. It's a fairly simple thing. I measured myself and picked my size. But in all the pictures of everybody wearing it, it looks like a kind of blouson top. And I didn't expect it to be tight because I picked the right size for my bust, but no. So I'm going to go up at least one size. It's not pulling massively or anything. It's just kind of squashing slightly. Squash, which is not what you want. We have rain today. This is our 3rd rain since the end of April. Everything's very dry. It's also hot with rain, particularly lovely. You can really see the frizz in my hair from, yep, yeah. We have been having a staycation, which has been lovely. My main purpose for doing that video today, I'm looking where I've left my stuff every time. So these, I'm talking about Patternsy print-offs versus copy shop print-offs. You also obviously have the option usually of printing off on your home printer. I hate that method, and I have tried it before, and I don't have the patience for it. I can't work with the paper with the tape, and it's just very ungainly. Old now, must be said. Right. So this is one of the orders that I got from Patternsy. I think this was the first one I ever ordered. Maybe the second one. Same for dates on it. Yeah, I got this in February. So they had an offer on. If you follow them on Instagram, sometimes they have offers and stuff on. Not so much like free postage or anything like that, but they'll have like a Tilly and the Buttons weekend, which is what this was, and there was 15% or 20% something off Tilly and the Buttons patterns if you wanted to get them printed. And I happened to want all of them, so I basically got all of the Tilly and the Buttons patterns that I had. Tilly and the Buttons patterns that I had printed off. So I got the Bettine, which is what I've been doing the top hat of. I got the Fifi, which I have a problem with, and I'll discuss that another time, and the Marigold, which I haven't tried yet, but I'm dying to. I've never made trousers. I've made lots of skirts, I've never made trousers. So this is how they come. I'll use the Fifi because it's the smallest one. It's printed on, hopefully I'm getting this right, like 26 GSM paper. It's not tissue, it's actually paper. I don't really want to open it out the full way because I'll never get it folded up again. But so because it's, you know, it's like you would get it printed at the coffee shop. It's just one big piece, and they can, you know, sometimes you get a pattern that's like on 2 pages of tissue. They can put it all into one, and it costs less because there's slightly less paper being used. They can kind of smush it together and fit it all in. So it comes out like this. Very lovely. Tilly and the Buttons patterns are just in black and white, as are, what else did I get the other day? Ooh, I got the Sew Over It vintage shirt dress, and I got the Sew Over It from a new magazine. Lottie, the Lottie dress. The Lottie dress I have the same problem with as I am going to have with this Fifi top, in that I can't do spaghetti straps or thin straps of any kind. My underwear has wide straps. It is required to have wide straps. And they're not necessarily the most attractive straps because, you know, I haven't remortgaged my house to pay for underwear. So I don't want the straps to be seen. And both the Fifi and the Lottie seem to use this method of attaching straps, which is using like a bias binding. So you bind around the edge and then you sew it up to make the strap. Now, I haven't ever tried just making like uber thick binding, but I think it would look stupid around the rest of the top. You know, just to get that much wider of a strap, to have this massive wide binding around the top, it's going to look really dumb. But if anybody has any other ideas, I'm open to suggestions. There is an effect when you have like a large bust with a little tiny strap, where it ends up looking kind of like a Christmas decoration, where you've got this string and a ball at the end. It's not a flattering effect. It's not a flattering look. So that is what the Patternsy ones look like. The Patterns for Pirates one that I've ordered from Patternsy. This is the Essential Tank Top / Dress from Patterns for Pirates. As you can see, it's in beautiful colours, which I think is going to make it a lot easier when you're cutting out, because like they use lots of different dots and what have you, and I know on a black and white version it's hard to follow those. I didn't have too much trouble tracing off the bateen, I don't think, but then it was a lot smaller than I thought it would be, so maybe I've done it wrong. And just for comparison, you've seen the size of that. This is the timeless tunic from Patterns for Pirates that I got from the coffee shop. Now, I live in Northern Ireland. We don't have stuff here. It's very hard to get anything. Right, so 5 or 6 emails back and forth with the copy shop. I think I rang them and asked them a couple of questions as well. I tried 3 different places within a 15 to 20 mile radius to find somewhere who had the right, the wide format paper and stuff to print it on. Got that all sorted. I'm not sure, I haven't checked if it's on 1 sheet or 2 in the pattern, but I think it is on 2, as it's quite a large garment. It can be quite long, and it's got sleeves, so the sleeve pattern was quite big as well. It's a layered PDF pattern, so you can just select the size that you want and just print that. Don't print any of the other lines. I did ask the copy shop only to print the extra large, which, having made the toile, is the size that I'm going to go for, so that would have been fine. It was also, as you've seen on the Patternsy one, it's a colour pattern. So this is what I got from the copy shop. As you can see, it's enormous. They haven't printed it in colour. They haven't printed just the layer that I asked them to. And there is actually a further problem. I can find this where it's easy to see. Yeah, here you can see. Their printer, I think, is actually running out of ink. So there is a line down each side of the pattern, in places where it's actually important, where you can't see the pattern when you're trying to trace it. It's not clear enough because the ink's faded or not there. So I'm not hugely pleased with these. Overall, I mean, that's been my experience of the copy shop. Not everybody's copy shop is going to be as rubbish as mine. It's not a handy place for me to go. They're obviously only open during working hours. I think they're open a half day on a Saturday. So I ordered this on a Monday or a Tuesday, and I had to wait till the Saturday until I could go and pick it up. So that's not going to be the case for everybody. A lot of people have, like, well, they'll not work the same hours as me, or they'll have a more local shop to them, or a shop that's open later or earlier or whatever, or a friend or a family member who can go and pick stuff up for them, which I very rarely do. But it was a pain in the ass. Basically, if I'd got it from Patternsy, I would have received it much sooner. I usually get stuff from Patternsy, excepting Sundays, 1 to 2 working days after I order it, which is pretty awesome. really. It comes in this nice little envelope. The pattern comes the way you've requested it, which is always good. Price wise, they were comparable. I mean, I didn't get the same pattern printed in both places, so I can't do a direct comparison. I think it was slightly cheaper per sheet at the copy shop, but Patternsy wouldn't have printed lots of sheets. They'd have merged it all into one and printed it in one long thing. So it probably would have ended up cheaper from Patternsy anyway. Then you do have the postage to consider, but I had to wait 5 days and then drive somewhere to pick this up and then drive back again. And yeah, it's just far too much faff involved. The Patternsy process is much better for me. Cute little mug. Look how cute it is. Adorable. These are my Truska dolls. My partner's godmother got me this for Christmas one year. She's also really cute. The copy shop printing, it's on really good quality paper. Like if you were gonna cut something out and use it multiple times, say you were making dresses for triplets or bridesmaids dresses or something, and you were going to use it a lot of times, you might want to go down that route because it would be a lot more hard wearing. You could reinforce the edges with sellotape or whatever to make it a bit sturdier, but it would last, I think, a lot longer than the very, very thin paper from Patternsy. It is tissue-like, but even the storage, I mean, this thing, like, where am I supposed to keep this? It's like a lightsaber. So yeah, it's taking up space in my room that I could do without it taking up. And I'm really not pleased with it at all. I won't be using them again. But that's one copy shop. So if your copy shop is better than mine, you might have a totally different experience. I really like the way these fold up into basically a dress pattern sized envelope. That's great. It works for me for storage because I have storage boxes that are this size. Obviously it's not in it now. These are the things that I'm supposed to be doing now or working on at the moment. I've got a lot of stuff lying around. Look at this. I guess it's a kind of scathing review of the copy shop, but I mean they're not, it's not a niche shop. That's not all they do. They do, you know, they print photographs, they print all sorts of things, they print maps, they do framing, they do cards, they do local history books. Patternsy, as far as I know, this is all they do. So I'm happier giving them the custom. Basically, I think they run a great service. It's a great product. I'm not affiliated with them in any way, by the way. I just wanted to give them a shout out because I couldn't complain about anything. I think they're great. And I will be using them in the future for all my hundreds of PDF patterns because there are so many of them. But I've talked quite enough for one day, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.